Have you tried looking for it?
No, I don't know where it is.
Damn, Rita.
Are we rolling?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah.
All right. We getting into this shit?
Yeah.
Let's do this.
All right.
So too.
Welcome to the podcast. Must
Okay.
be a podcast.
Must be a podcast. I finally got the name down.
You do?
I got it memorized. Yeah,
It must
I'm
be
sure
a
of it.
podcast.
Must be.
Gotta be.
But once again, I'm Chris.
I'm Devin.
I'm Keys.
Marquis.
We stuck
Come
Dan in
on.
the closet for now.
Yeah, we got Paul here today.
Yep.
And behind the camera, we got JBoony. So this is actually a must-be self-made collaboration.
God damn.
So we might get more of these. We got some pretty serious topics to talk about today.
Yeah, there's been a lot of happenings this week in the news, both local and going on around the country. And some of it's, like Chris said, is pretty crazy. But what do you expect in today's society? It's just nuts, man.
Yeah, so like I said, we have Paul here. He's going to be helping us out, giving us an opinion. And we'll hope to have him on again with us. But let's just get into it. So, starting with local stuff. Those of you who live in Jersey, there has been a lot of changes going on. A lot of brand new sky rises popping up. A lot of talks of cleaning up Jersey. And one of the big ones more recently is if you travel along the train lines along New Jersey, one of the biggest terminals is Newark Penn Station. So recently it was bought out for $300 million. And this is coming from the Inquirer. So it's intended to bring a lot of like high-end shopping. Its building is called the Gateway. It was originally meant to help businessmen skip the street traffic, all the foot traffic, all the things that are going on around Newark.
Yeah.
So how does that already sound? It sounds like it's meant to be catered for big businessmen coming from the city.
Yeah.
So gentrification has flooded Jersey, and it's starting to hit pretty close to home. So, I mean, just quickly, what do you guys think so far?
Well, I know that Governor Murphy, he's trying to I know he has this the free college thing going on.
Yeah.
And there are people saying, I know one of my professors was saying this too, with the legalizing marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
He was going to try to use that money to fund the free tuition for education, or for college education. And but that whole thing is not gone through yet, because he still has to deal with a bunch of people on his way to get it through. And now, I guess, with this money, this brings in more money to be able maybe to go towards that initiative, and to probably try to fix up some of the roads here in Jersey, because as you all know, in Jersey, our roads are pretty horrible from last winter.
Terrible.
Potholes everywhere,
Yeah.
like big
Terrible.
ones. And hopefully some of that money will go towards some of that good, and also being able to bring more money to the free college tuition initiative.
Yeah, Governor Murphy, so far he seems like he's pretty proactive with us. I would say, so far has definitely impressed me more than Christie has.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
A lot more.
Definitely.
He seems to be doing a lot for us. I know a lot of the older people didn't really like his input on marijuana, but for us young bloods, it's like whatever. We don't really care so much. So he seems to be doing a lot of proactive stuff, and he definitely wants to help New Jersey Transit. I take New Jersey Transit all the time. That's my way to get around, to get to work, to get to home, to get to where I have to be.
Mm-hmm.
And 99.9% of the time, I run into an issue.
Exactly.
Some sort of issue.
All the time.
I rely on mostly the trains because I feel like it's usually, well, when I first started, it usually used to be pretty reliable. Now, with Amtrak coming out of the city, there's always some sort of delay. All the time. And now they're doing this testing for the PTC, which is some sort of like automated system to help with train times and whatnot. I don't know if you've heard of that.
No. What is that?
Or you.
No. I'm only familiar with NJ Transit through the busing.
Mhm.
Not only recently just started using it to go back and forth from school. And speaking of Governor Murphy, talking on that, he was actually at my school in September. So I got to be actually in that same room and be able to watch him talk live, which was pretty cool. And he touched on that a little bit. And he said that he's extremely dissatisfied with how it's going, and he's trying to work as fast as possible to come up with a solution to get the trains to run correctly and to ensure quality rides for people and on time and everything without delays. But it's still happening, so I don't know what's going on with that. But I haven't heard of what you're talking about, though.
Yeah, I saw a sign at the train station. I was reading on it a little bit. I don't know if it actually is PTC, but that's what I can't even remember what the acronym stands for.
Yeah.
But I just know that it's for some automated system to help with train times and limit the delays. Paul, I know you take the train, sometimes or the buses. So I don't know what your stand on this is.
I mean, I haven't taken it too much lately, but I mean, like you guys kind of said, it's kind of always been a problem. It seems more so than like previously. There's always an issue of some sort, whether it's delays or just something else crazy. So I agree with you guys, though. What you said, a lot of stuff you guys were talking about.
Yeah, it has to change, especially if they're trying to bring all these people in from the city.
Yeah.
Because the city people very rarely drive.
Yeah.
And if they're bringing in all these new luxurious apartment buildings like we have in town, like they're building in Newark, like they're building in Orange, East Orange, like all these cities and towns known for not being the best, but they're trying to clean it up, they have to change. And that, I think, is what's really driving this whole automated system thing, actually.
Yeah.
Because they know that the people who can't really afford to live in the city or want to be somewhere quieter will come here because we're right there.
Yeah.
So if they want that, it would help us as the people who already live here, and it would definitely help them. So overall, we just need to get it cleaned up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So next on the docket, what we have?
Want to talk about that Newport Mall shooting? Because that was
Yeah.
that was
Staying
the
on
topic
local.
of Marquis. Yeah.
When was this? Alright, so January 11th, there was a shooting in Newport.
If you guys don't know, Newport Mall is the mall in Jersey City. It's in the Jersey City side. It's right across from the Hoboken train terminal. Just take the PATH train or the light rail, whichever one that is. Right across the bridge.
I think it's the light rail.
Yeah, it's right across the bridge, and it'll leave you right there. It's really big mall. I actually like that mall, but it's kind of out of the way.
Yeah, I think I've been there like one time.
Yeah, it's a nice mall.
Yeah, it really is. But yeah, so they said 2 people were critically wounded. The shooting happened at the food court, and there was like the day that happened, social media was crazy. Like you see videos of people running, you hear the shots firing, and it's really it's like it just upsets me that this happens so much now. That is crazy.
Yeah, and pretty close to home too. It's similar to that whole thing in the Jersey Gardens Mall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was Tommy Hilfiger. It was some guy got shot. I think it was Black Friday. Was it Black Friday?
Yeah, it was Black Friday.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So it's, it. And then along with the Jersey Gardens Mall, there was those whole thing with those guys playing the pranks. throwing the chairs to make it sound like somebody was shooting and
Yeah.
running. So we have jokesters, and then now we have
Like actual
people.
shooters.
Did they mention why? Or why these was it 2 people that got wounded? You said?
Yeah, 2 people. 2 men were critically wounded. Yeah, Friday night following the shooting in the Newport Center Mall.
Did they
And
say?
they got the people, right? Did they get the people?
I mean,
I think I saw something about them getting one. I don't know if
One-
they got the other.
When I was reading the article, one of them actually had a warrant out. They had a warrant out for his arrest because he was. They were looking for him for a previous shooting that happened like a few days earlier.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And
So-
the shooting is a product of him and someone else getting into an argument.
Really?
Yeah.
Pertaining to what did they say?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
But
So-
it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter what it's over.
No, of
course not.
This is ridiculous. That,
Sorry.
No.
sorry.
Sorry for that.
It's ridiculous that this sort of thing happens,
Mhm.
and like how like is it really that serious? Like what the argument was that you have to shoot each other over it in a public place, causing all this panic, people just trying to shop, have a good time, and like Chris said, this happens way too much, and it could happen anywhere, at any time, and that's the scary part and sad part. Like, you could be just at work doing your normal thing, and then some crazy person can walk up in there with the intent to cause as much harm as possible. It's like, these people are not only cowards, but it's like, why?
This actually just reminded me of something I saw this morning at a UPS warehouse. Actually, there was an active shooter thing going on. I believe it was this morning.
This morning.
Yeah, in like Gloucester County or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So, I mean, we already knew that guns were a serious thing.
Yeah.
There's gotta
Yeah.
be better like security protocols for that type of stuff. Because I feel like in malls and stuff, you could just go right in.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah.
I mean, how often do you
Nothing.
really see a security guard in a mall?
Exactly.
Not often, not that often,
So-
especially not big ones like Newport and Jersey Gardens. The Jersey Gardens, being so close to the airport, and then Newport Mall right next to the city.
Yeah. So we
So
got a lot of traffic going on.
that's like hot malls, and that's just why do you want to injure? Why do you want to injure? Why is any argument really that serious?
I
And
don't know, man.
why in a public place?
Heat of the moment.
Why shoot anybody at all for an argument?
I don't know, man.
It can't be that serious.
It's heat of the moment.
And it's even worse when you hear about it being over something stupid like a sports game or something like that,
Yeah.
or just a basic argument
Yeah.
over a female. Like, come on, don't shoot each other over a female or over something petty. Just get over
Yeah.
it. Just get over it.
But that's the problem. Most people don't know how to get over stuff.
That's where it's serious. It's more serious, and it requires counseling.
Yeah.
Like serious counseling for veterans, for anybody who has ever been near a gun. Background checks need to be more serious when they're applying for a gun, unless they're just getting it off somebody.
I feel like with some people, they do attempt to get the help, but I feel like there's a lack of understanding like how bad the position is, and there's some people out there who just wave it off as them just being ridiculous. I feel like while there's no excuse for these people, there's just not enough seriousness in trying to help them until it's too late. And then there's some stories that come out, even some of the school shooters and whatever, that they attempted to get help and call the police and this and that, and then they're like abandoned, and then they feel like
Speaking
there's nowhere to go, no one else to turn to, there's no one to help them, and they just want to take out their anger on a bunch of innocent people who has nothing to do with their situation.
I see you're going really deep into that, but I just want to touch on a point that you mentioned.
Yeah.
That brings me back to a news breaking that I was watching while at work.
Mm.
There was this guy in Patterson.
Mhm.
He
Ooh, Patterson.
overdosed on ecstasy.
Wow.
He tried to call the police 3 times.
Mhm.
Didn't help him. He went to the police station. They wouldn't help him. So he was trying to go to the hospital. He got there and died. But he called for the police 3 times and went to the police station.
And see,
Once
that's
or twice,
that's
once or
what I'm
twice.
hitting by when we were recording. People are just lacking empathy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. Like
Nobody wants to help anybody. Everybody's
so quick. Like if something happens, like 2 people are fighting, instead of breaking it up, people will quickly pull out their phones and record. You know,
Yeah.
it's all for like social media.
That's another thing. Yeah, people are trying too hard to get internet fame. They care more about internet points and internet fame, and trying to gain some kind of traction for
Let's
their platforms.
not go too deep into internet. Let's save that.
Yeah, that's a
okay.
that's a
Let's
separate
save
rabbit
that.
hole.
But
okay,
let's
okay.
definitely jump on the next topic.
What do you want it to be?
Well, you guys all watch Bird Box. And speaking of internet, you guys have all been on Instagram, have all been reading things and watching things, and know that these challenges are getting crazy, and we have the Bird Box challenge. Devin. Or Paul, do you have anything to say real quick about that? About these challenges? You watched Bird Box.
It was only 5 minutes of the movie. That's what's pissing me off. It was only 5 minutes.
5 minutes
Wasn't a whole thing.
in the car.
5 minutes in the car. Literally going from the house to the supermarket. And now people, I guess, want to make a game out of it. Where did it even start at? In California? Did it start
Most likely.
in the West Coast?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Most likely.
It's
I
just
have to
like-
say, it's like, I get it. Like when you're young and stupid, right?
Yeah.
But you have to draw a line. There's difference between being stupid just to have fun and it's like still safe, and the best part is no one dies at the end or end up in the hospital or something.
Yeah.
But nowadays with this and like the Tide Pod challenge,
Oh
There's
my
just-
god.
Oh, man,
there's
the
just
gem,
this.
the Tide
You guys
Pod
ever
challenge.
like? Have you guys ever heard of like the tampon challenge? Or
Tampon
what it was?
challenge?
The tampon
The
challenge.
tampon challenge.
Yeah, I believe there was a tampon challenge where they would.
Sounds like some bullshit.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
And keep in mind, this may be a little bit explicit, a little bit disgusting. This is where they would dip a tampon in vodka and put it up their butts.
my
And
god.
the thing is, people would get hospitalized because the vodka would get into their bloodstream.
Wait,
I'm sorry.
That
that's dumb
reminds
as hell.
me. That reminds me
That's
as
really dumb
ridiculous
as hell.
as the Pocky Chip Challenge or the Packy Chip Challenge. They're
I don't
really
even
hot.
know.
what is that?
The hot chip thing?
The hot chip thing.
Okay, yeah.
It
hot
comes
chip.
in. We all right.
Oh, the ghost pepper chip. Is it
Yeah,
that one?
it's
God.
the pack. The brand is called Packy.
Oh.
We sell the chips actually,
We do.
but not that chip.
Oh.
The chip itself comes in like a box. Is one chip. It comes in its own box.
Yeah, his own box is like the shape of
and
the
you
chip.
eat it, and you sweat like crazy.
Uh-huh.
You just lose your mind.
Yeah.
And in the video, the guy was trying to drink water, trying to drink
No,
milk.
it doesn't help.
It doesn't.
It
It
doesn't
was
help.
just
Water,
so hot.
water makes it worse.
He tried to drink milk.
Because
And
I did
he
the ghost
he
pepper
did,
challenge.
like yogurt. Yeah, you are nuts. I saw that video.
That was like the worst experience of my life.
See the prospect over here. The prospect over here, guys.
Worst experience.
Kids
But
these
yeah.
days.
Yeah. But these challenges are getting nuts. I remember the cinnamon challenge way back when I was in high school.
Cinnamon challenge.
These challenges have been going on for so long, and they're just getting more and more ridiculous. And now we have a young girl, 17 years old. This is coming from, where was the citation? The Washington Post. Young girl, 17-year-old in Utah, driving down the street. She decides to pull her beanie cap over her face and drives into another vehicle with a 16-year-old male with her. So she potentially endangered somebody else, and she killed herself. And I don't know what happened to the other people in the other car, but She was young, 17 years old.
Yep.
Yeah.
Potentially endangering somebody else, and took her own life.
Yep.
For a stupid challenge in a Netflix show or movie from a scene that was only 5 minutes long.
It's crazy. The kids today are way too impressionable.
Yeah.
And, like, there are multiple ways to have fun. Like, I know a lot of kids these days, especially the kids who are into gaming, they're mostly into Fortnite. Like, with them making videos and them doing Fortnite dances and stuff, like, that's cool. Like, do something like that. Something silly to just have fun. Yeah, harmless. Yeah, harmless, good fun that they can get behind and be safe. The parents can get behind and know their kids are safe. But this stuff has got to stop. And then the social media platforms, it's just propelled. And it's just like a never-ending vicious cycle of these challenges. And it's like, do the challenge or you're a punk. But then this status doesn't mean anything because now you're dead. And then that's another child, unfortunately, being buried by their parents. Way too young, way too soon.
Way too young. Probably not even in college yet. Probably still in high school.
Not 17 either. Unless they were extremely smart. But still, regardless, like, that's another life lost, and it's serious. And I feel like parents really need to start getting more into the child's life and pay attention to what they're doing. Like, I know none of this was around when I was growing up, like all the social media and stuff.
Yeah, no, that's the problem.
But still, like, when I was growing up, I was disciplined, and that's how I turned out how I am today. It's like, I feel like parents let their kids get away with too much. And then by the time they start to get involved, it's too late.
See, social media can be used for two different things. For being absolutely foolish or trying to better yourself.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's just not enough guidelines. And well, definitely mostly comes down to the parenting, for sure. You know, it's just... I know when I started getting into social media, my mom always reminded me to just be careful with what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
With MySpace at the time.
MySpace.
And then that was kind of the start of...
Yeah.
You know, because MySpace was so popular at the time. This was before Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And Facebook came out. So it's like, as you go down... I mean, they're going to find creeps anywhere you go. In person or on social media.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just next level, the things that happen on social media. With creeping and with the amount of, like, fandoms some things get. Like, what is so appealing to wanting to do this?
You want to look cool. People want to, like, kids
Is that
wanna look
people
cool.
trying to get their fame, their 15 minutes of fame?
Yeah, I believe it. People will do anything these days because you can easily become, like, a famous internet figure, especially and with your Twitter and your Instagram, all your social media platforms, and then you start making YouTube videos. If you guys are following, like, man, this kid has balls or whatever. Like, yeah, they're gonna have their critics for calling them stupid or whatever, but they're not gonna listen to that. They're gonna listen to people like praising them on, like, yeah, bro, you got balls, you did it. Yeah, look at you, you're a champ. And then that'll get them their following, and then from there it spirals out of control. Then they start doing more stupid stuff because people think this of me. People think I'm cool, and they can share it around their school. They can share it amongst internet peers, and share it on Twitter and whatever, and have it going viral, and this and that, and they just gain their following like that. And it's sad because they never know what video can be their last if that's the route they choose. And then after they get the good amount of exposure, they'll probably wind down, start to get into more mature things, grow with their content, grow with their fan base, and get into other things.
So they're starting out way too stupid.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Now, Paul, I mean, me and you pretty much grew up at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
What was the craziest thing you've ever seen somebody do for 15 minutes of fame? I remember the stupid things, like I'm like, well, we'll mention the rock throwing thing.
Oh, shit.
That was stupid.
Ah, shit. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we ain't got to bring that up.
Well, we won't.
Rock
But
throwing.
that kind of
I
stuff.
feel like in
it's just stupid stuff like that. Like
yeah.
I
But
just
I feel like in like middle school, like more than anything, people were just getting into fights. Like that was like the
that
big
was
thing.
you
Like,
going viral.
People
I mean,
trying to get
still
fights and
stupid.
video in the fights, stuff like that.
Still stupid, but like it's not as harmful. You know, you're not literally endangering your life.
Mm.
You probably get arrested. You know, but it's
even then, people would go to the parks.
exactly. You just run.
You know what I mean? Just,
So it's like it's gone so crazy, and I don't know. I just for my future children and for the betterment of my younger brother, I would like this to stop. I would like some sort of guideline, some sort of structure to what can be uploaded to social media, what can be retweeted, what can be shared. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that's ever going to happen because this is how
It's gonna
social
be hard.
media gets
It's
their business.
gonna be hard to censor that out, man, because everybody wants, like, people want that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like as crazy as
Shock
it is,
factor.
And it's
people like want that.
and it's a double-edged sword because you want to be careful what you wish for when it comes to censorship.
Exactly.
Very true. Very true. That whole shutting down the internet thing was kind of crazy. That was supposed to be for censorship and whatnot. So
Yeah. Like if you're going to have
I don't even know what happened with that.
Like, if you're going to have the current rules in place, then they got to apply to everybody, and you don't want to go too far because then it just becomes controlled, and people just want to use the platforms to express themselves and stuff, whether it's in a stupid fashion or a smart fashion. Like, we already got, like, look at, actually, I won't mention that. We'll say that for another time.
All right. Well, let's just move right along then. Aquaman, guys. I still haven't seen the movie.
Either.
Paul did.
I saw it. It was pretty good. Visual effects
Really?
is like the biggest thing to me, though. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of pissed what they did with Black Manta, but outside of that, it was a pretty good movie, pretty solid.
$1.2 billion worth.
That's
I don't know about that.
crazy to
But it was
hear
pretty good.
coming out of a DC movie of all things. Like,
Yeah.
as we all know, DC movies tend to be mediocre at best.
Yeah.
Don't really do a good portrayal of the heroes in the universe and have a great universe. And then you watch the animated films and you see how good they are, and you're like, "Damn, DC, what are you doing?"
I think Paul brought up the fact that DC has their hands, or it might have been Jared, has their hands. Has a lot of people have their hands on DC content.
Yeah.
The $1.2 billion is pretty impressive. For me, my run-in with DC films, I mean, it's been here or there, not the greatest. But apparently, in China alone, it made $287.3 million. So, what's that about?
Hey, man. People like fish.
I think in China, I think they really eat up the special effects.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know, like the Transformers movies, they may not do so well over here, but over in China, they make a killing. They make so much money overseas that Michael Bay is just swimming in a room just made to hold all the money that he has made from China.
The Transformers movies did.
They do really well overseas.
That's
every
crazy.
time they come
I
out.
know that.
Yeah.
Well, domestically here in the U.S., it made a measly 17.26 mil. I mean, that's, I'm sure it's still, the numbers are still growing. There's always those $5 Tuesdays.
Yeah. Well, at least they chose a good time to release it.
Yeah.
Because we already know this year's
This
pretty
coming
stacked
year,
for
yeah.
Marvel. Really stacked. I mean, Into the Spider-Verse was 2018, but that was a good lead into what's about to come. And oh boy, it's coming down hard.
Yeah.
My pockets are screaming right now, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, screaming for multiple reasons. We're gonna go to our gamer here, Dev, to let us know about some video game stuff.
Oh, it's my turn already?
Yeah.
Ooh, oh boy. And this is some stuff. Now, for those of you who watched last week's podcast, I mentioned stuff about Activision Blizzard. I'm a Blizzard fan, have been for a while. And this news has to do now with Bungie and Activision. And the news broke last week. This article comes from Kotaku by Jason Schreier that Bungie has split with Activision, and they're getting to keep the publishing rights for Destiny. And this is huge news. As we all know, Activision can be a greedy company. Too many executive hands in the business of their developers, and just being very greedy, very predatory business practices. Same with EA. And it actually comes here in the article that after employees who were at this meeting heard the news, they actually were so happy they just popped bottles of champagne and just cheering, and that's crazy. And that to me says a lot about how much Activision prides into the business of the developers with these predatory microtransactions and with their business decisions that are of businessmen and not gamers.
Okay.
And I feel like Bungie is one of those companies. I mean, this is the company we're talking about who brought us the now renowned Halo series. Like, they're creators of Halo, and I feel like Bungie are a bunch of gamers who want to make good games and give their customers a really good product. And one of the things that's been the problem with Destiny 2 is rushed products. Because Activision is trying to fill a business quota, and they want as much content rushed out as possible to just try to make fast cash and just get out and go on to the next new thing. And while this does come as good news, and I'm optimistic for the future of Bungie, we still have to be a little bit cautious because they still can mess things up. They could go completely the wrong route and let people down, but I don't like to focus on that. I like to focus on the good. I like to believe that Bungie will deliver on their promise and that they will bring something great in for the future of Destiny 2 and going into Destiny 3.
Is Destiny 3 a thing?
Well, they
Probably
want this
is.
to be a long-time series.
Well, they did invest how much money into this? Some insane
can't
amount of
remember.
money. It
It's
was
a
supposed to be
lot
like a
of money.
10-year project, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
However, the one thing that I do want to see is because Destiny, as we all know, it's an MMO-like game. It's not exactly like fully an MMO, but it has a lot of MMO qualities. And I would like to see it just be one big MMO and just have expansions kind of like World of Warcraft or any other MMO that has come out in recent years with expansions. Because from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2, you couldn't keep your character or like none of that stuff trans over to the new game
Yeah.
with your old items and everything. I would like to see it become that and have an expansion-based system. You get to keep stuff from previous expansions, and you have your main character. And
Instead of just coming out with different...
instead of coming out with a
games.
different game where you have to start anew, you don't have any of your old stuff. Like, it kind of sucks because now you have everything you worked for, not even on this game.
Yeah.
And for those of you who play Destiny, whether it's on console or PC, we all use the Destiny Item Manager extension on Google Chrome to be able to go in and change our stuff on the fly without having to go back to the town.
I never did that.
You ever did that?
I've done.
Then you ain't pro enough.
Yeah, I'm a plug. You ever did that? No?
Well, that's crazy. You can't transfer your character over to Destiny 2 from Destiny 1?
No.
Ridiculous.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Well, I do entertain the idea of it becoming a straight-up MMO because I feel like that's what they try to do with the social space.
Yeah.
And I enjoy it hanging out in the social space now and then. You know, and I mean, even if it's just for a quick second, you get a vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Other people there. Going to the tower was awesome. And just I don't know. I mean, I didn't play enough of Destiny at all to get an opinion. I just beat the campaigns. I did like a raid or two here or there, but I usually just went straight to the matchmaking.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not like savvy completely with like the community and all that, but I do enjoy a good game that can be played with a bunch of friends.
Yeah.
And that actually, gives you a vibe, like I said. So, for it to be an MMO, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I have, my bits of experience with MMO games. I briefly played Final Fantasy Online. Or, not Final Fantasy Online.
Was it 14?
No, the Elder Scrolls Online.
Elder Scrolls Online, okay.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool. So...
I don't know if it was cool, man.
I mean, I got back on it after they did an update to it, and it was alright. I mean, it wasn't what I was expecting, though. At E3, that hype was serious.
Yeah.
Because I thought we were going to be able to just drag and shout everywhere, just run through people's houses. But, they killed the hype.
For the brief stint that I've tried Elder Scrolls, I just made a character and was like looting, was stealing, the sneaking around and stealing from the boxes just because I found that fun.
But the problem with those type of games is you got those serious fanboys.
Yeah.
those Elder Scrolls fanboys. There's still people on that game.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they had a good year last year. I believe
they did an update or something, right?
Yeah,
I think that's when I got back
out.
on it.
And
made a
I
new
heard good things
character.
about it. What I like to see in Destiny is they need an in-game group finder. Because right now, to find groups for stuff, if you're on PC, they have a Destiny 2 LFG Discord server. And if you're on PS4, I believe you can still use Discord server. I believe they have it for console players. And they have the LFG subreddit.
Okay.
And but I believe everyone just uses Discord now because it's so much more convenient.
Yeah. Discord.
But breaking off from that into the after effects of this announcement coming out, immediately after this news came out, Activision's stocks dropped 11%, and that is a huge yikes.
Well, for somebody as big as Activision,
Yeah.
makes other
They're-
games like COD and such. So
Well, COD isn't doing as well as investors wanted it to.
really,
It did good in sales, but it's not as good as they wanted it to. And
well, they try to go
that's-
toe to toe with the likes of Overwatch and Fortnite.
yeah, they're trying to combine the popular trends into one game
Yeah,
without thinking.
and with keeping their COD fan base, and
Yeah.
that's probably why. That's probably where most of their money went.
Yeah,
I don't think people just were gonna give up games that they already have for a wannabe game, along
Yeah.
with the bullshit that comes with COD.
yeah. They're obviously just riding the trends, just trying to
Well, they've
milk
done that.
the
We
cow.
talked about that last podcast.
Yeah, they're just trying to ride trends and not really communicate with their
Stop
fan
looking at
base.
you more.
And communicate with their fan base and what they really want. And I feel like,
Wait, hold on.
yeah.
Chime in real quick. What you guys say about this? You've been quiet, just kind of subtweeting over here.
Listen, I don't really like Activision. Alright? Activision, they're all about money. At the end of the day, it's all about
Well,
money.
yeah. I mean,
To them.
most publishers are.
And you can really show when like a company really puts the time and effort and love into their games. Like CD Projekt Red, for instance. Like those guys really care about their product. And like we don't have a lot of that in the game industry anymore.
Yeah.
I was talking this with my friend Ken yesterday. Shouts to Ken.
The plug. Is he watching this?
Huh? I'm gonna send it to him.
All right, good.
Yeah,
Get us.
But-
Tell him to advertise for us.
yeah. There are not enough people who are gamers making games.
Okay, that's a good point.
Because look at Activision. Their CEO is Robert Kotick, and he just cares about money, and that's clear with how Activision is with their microtransactions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they just want to milk the consumer base and treat them like idiots, like just a bunch of like wallets that are just like flying wallets that just have this infinite amount of cash they can just drop on whatever, and that they're going to be stupid. But the consumer base has been wising up, and it shows in sales. It shows in the reduced purchase of microtransactions. The consumers getting smarter and are wising up to these companies, and it's about time, because I definitely want to see a change in product quality. I want to see a change in attitude towards the consumer base, and I want to see the change in the games. I want to see the quality products. Like take for example, Marquis mentioned CD Projekt Red, and I believe talked about that last week. But I would say
Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk and The Witcher, yeah.
Mm.
And I believe like Sony, for example, has a lot of top-notch developers who makes quality games. Like you have Insomniac, you have Naughty Dog, you have Santa Monica Studios, you have all these really good developers. And like to touch up on a bit, like when Last of Us 2 comes out, that game is going to destroy everything.
Oh my god!
It's going to nuke everything from orbit, and it's going to be fantastic.
Isn't that coming out this year, right?
I'm
Did
not
they even
sure.
say a date? I
don't
think
think
people
so.
just assume it's coming out this year.
Yeah.
You know?
What is?
Yeah.
Last of Us 2.
Probably not. I feel like it's not. They dropped the trailer. I mean, if it does, it's
They-
probably late in the
They
year.
haven't dropped anything new.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If
No,
it
there's
does,
only
it'll
one
probably
gameplay, right? One gameplay
late.
trailer of it.
be late this year.
Oh man, that would be a great
Early
holiday
next year.
game.
Oh, of course.
It would destroy the holidays.
It would eat
Oh,
up the
yeah.
holiday.
It would
That-
be nice.
That would be Red Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitants
That oh my god. You guys can't see it, but JBoony's over here is crying. He wants Last of Us 2 this year too.
That ain't happening.
But yeah, man.
What
But-
you thinking?
Take your time on it.
Please.
Don't rush it out for the holidays.
Please take your time.
Take your time on it, because we probably won't see a third.
Yeah.
Not until PS5.
Probably not.
And no, they're not. This is going to be the gold standard for game.
Yeah.
Last of Us is going to be the gold standards for
Yeah.
any game after
Yeah.
this. I guarantee.
Yeah. And that's what I'm talking about, standard. Like, we all know that's going to be a very high quality game that they took their time on,
Mm-hmm.
that they're passionate about. And that's what's missing. Passion. The passion is gone in favor of making a quick buck at every turn. Nickel and diming the consumer base.
It took
And-
8 years for Red Dead to come out,
Wow.
Yeah,
Much.
about like 8 years.
and between GTA 4 and 5, that was only like 2008, 2000. That's 5 years.
They took their time. That's
Yeah.
why big hopes for Kingdom Hearts 3 in 2 weeks.
They took a lot of time on
week?
that. 13 years.
It's like a week and a half.
13
13 years.
Yeah.
2006. I've been waiting for that game.
Hey man, let
For a
Yutani
frame of
Hikaru
reference-
hit the flutes.
For a frame of reference, I was in my junior year in high school.
Yeah?
2006.
Damn.
We were freshmen in high school. No, Eddie.
2006?
No, we were at the end of
You said
middle school.
2006, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
we're in middle school.
Yeah, I like the end of middle school. Yeah. We're old guys. Well, except for you. But
We young.
standards, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Big
And,
hopes for both these games.
and going with the gaming news, and on the subject of quality, as some of you know who follows Blizzard closely, the CEO and president of Blizzard Entertainment, Mike Morhaime, stepped down in November, and we all thought he was gone completely, but apparently not. He's still been there as an advisor,
Mhm.
and he's going to be there until April of this year. And Mike Morhaime, from everything I've read and everything I've heard, through Reddit, through the posts from ex-Blizzard employees, and by people who are currently there now, is that Mike Morhaime was truly a gamer, and he wanted to make games for gamers, and set a bar of quality that could not be matched by anyone else. And Blizzard really showed that with their franchises like Diablo and with StarCraft, like especially in the '90s when they came out, they just blew up, and there was just like no one within the PC market who could contend with Blizzard. He just really cared about the customer. He really loved games, and he cared deeply about his employees too. He wanted to make sure they were well paid, both at the campus in Irvine, California. And in case you guys don't know, Blizzard does actually have a campus mostly for the customer support team in Austin, Texas. Not many people know that.
So they
and he would actually.
It's for customer service only.
I'm not sure about only, but I know it's mostly that.
But it's like they
Well, that's
mainly
good.
focus on customer service.
Well, that's
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And there was one Reddit post that actually said that he would actually take trips there to visit the team personally and make sure they were doing fine, make sure everyone was in a good place. And he was a person who always wanted to talk about games too. Like people mentioned like the latest like Assassin's Creed game or something, and he'd be able to talk about that for hours and what he liked about the game and what they could possibly implement into a Blizzard product and make it their own and change it up a little bit, spice it up. And when he leaves, me as a Blizzard fan, I'm going to miss him because I feel like he's the last of the kind of people who wants to make games to make people happy and just put something out there that's a quality product. And it's gonna suck. And after he leaves, I want to stay optimistic for the future about Blizzard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they'll be able to pull themselves out of a hole, in this current hole they're in, especially after that Diablo Immortal announcement. But with Activision stepping in more and more, at least what seems like what's happening, not sure if that's actually happening or not.
Well, will that be more for financial backing?
Well, no, that's more to determine because here's the thing. With Call of Duty not doing as well as investors had hoped, and with now Bungie regaining the publishing rights to Destiny 2,
Mhm.
Activision's only big game was Call of Duty. And now they're putting more pressure on Blizzard to release stuff to pick up the slack. Which means there's going to be rushed content out of Blizzard due to pressure from Activision. And Blizzard is a company who's known not to rush things. Like their games, their projects have taken years to develop.
Now, we definitely came to the conclusion that Activision was the backing for the Black Ops series, right?
Yeah.
We could agree that the Black Ops series is probably the best out of the Call of Duty games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Every 2 years, kind of. This is usually when it comes out.
Yeah, every 2
Yeah.
years. Because I think
Would
it's
2 years be enough for Blizzard to pull out a quality Black Ops game?
2 years.
Well,
Also,
Black Ops
did
is...
they work on Black Ops 4?
Well, no, Blizzard didn't work on Black Ops Call of Duty at all. That's still done by, like, Treyarch. And I forgot who's getting it this year. Remember, it rotates between developers.
It's like
Yeah, it's
Treyarch,
like 3 different
Infinity War, and
developers.
Sledgehammer. I think those are the 3.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
So Blizzard would have nothing to do with the Black Ops game.
No,
in
no.
the future.
No, they just do World of Warcraft and Hearthstone, Overwatch. They're
Well,
all
you
those
think
games.
Activision would?
But Activision still makes money off of that because it's Activision Blizzard. It's a merger.
So
They're not developing it, the games, but they're like, I guess, the money behind it, so to speak.
okay.
Yeah,
Like
Activision.
investors, basically.
Yeah,
Well,
like Bungie still makes their own stuff.
well, do you think that? Well, I guess not. All right.
But they do have a lot of say over how the game's kind of made, so.
Yeah, people.
Well, that's
yeah,
good.
the thing is, until recent times, Activision has left Blizzard alone, let them do their own thing because they were making tons of money and stuff. Had a lot of new products on the slate. Recently, they haven't had a lot of big new releases like their only release last year, I believe, was the new World of Warcraft expansion Battle for Azeroth. This year they have the Warcraft 3 remaster coming out. I can only assume Diablo Immortal is coming out this year, but there hasn't been a release date on that.
Well, from what you said, that's gonna be trash. So,
I mean, it's trash for me because of the way they did the announcement, but it's gonna be a mobile game. We already know it's gonna make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And at first, the game was originally supposed to only be released in China.
Really?
Yeah, because in China, mobile games make a lot of money. So, and no matter how anyone looks at it, though, let's be real, Diablo Immortal is gonna make a lot of money. That's the way mobile games go.
Of course, it
they
has
make a
the
lot of money.
title of Diablo on it.
Well, that and it's a mobile game. Like, people play mobile games all the time. It's gonna make a ton of money. It's gonna make a killing. So it's going to be financially successful. It's just the way they did the announcement that was pretty dirty. So, yeah.
all right.
And that's enough on that.
So that's all you got for game stuff.
Yeah, for now, I didn't see anything else that's huge that's come out yet for other stuff.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty quiet in terms of games right now.
Yeah.
I do know that for the Switch, that new Super Mario's U, or is was it the deluxe edition of that game that came out for the Wii U is coming to the Switch?
I heard about that. I haven't read much about it though.
No, I mean
No.
you don't have a Switch yet. You're the only one with a Switch, so
It's the calm before the storm though for Kingdom Hearts 3.
yeah,
So that's everyone.
That's the new game. That's the next one.
Yeah, in 2 weeks.
2 weeks, the 29th. Anybody pre-order yet?
Not yet. Not
Saving
yet.
up for a Switch.
But
Are you not getting Kingdom Hearts 3?
Saving up.
You're not getting Kingdom Hearts 3?
I'm trying to get the Switch.
Oh my lord, Marquis, you've been blacklisted. You're out of the podcast. Go behind the camera. JB, I'm subbing you in.
Yeah, man. So you about to have
I'm
a system
sorry.
with no games.
That's how I know you're young.
oh,
God.
man. Where did we lead you wrong?
Nowhere. He's leading himself. What do you mean? The Switch can wait.
Listen.
Kingdom Hearts is 13 years in the making.
All right.
No.
I'll get it as soon as I can.
Yeah.
Gotta have this.
Nah.
I'll get it as
Get
soon
it.
as I can.
Tweaker
Gloss
over
over
there.
that one.
Kingdom Hearts 3 is
Oh.
skipping out.
Actually, wait a minute.
Daniels here.
Actually,
There is more gaming news I want to talk about. That Mortal Kombat stream is coming up.
yeah, that's what I was about to remind you guys.
The 18th. Yeah, they're going to be revealing a lot of stuff about the new game and showing it off on the live stream on Twitch. I believe it's going to be on Friday.
The 18th?
Yeah, so just wanted to just put that out there, and because I definitely want to watch it, and I'm definitely want to see what the game has to offer, because I love Mortal Kombat.
Speaking of Friday, just real quick on the music tip, J. Cole, Return of the Dreamers 3, supposed to have like 70 artists on it. Yeah.
What?
Or like
This
some
a mixtape?
I don't know. He's been advertising it on
crazy.
Instagram.
70
artists.
T.I. is there. Rick Ross is there. There's a bunch of artists. Look that up.
Hold on.
It's just 70 artists.
Yeah, he's been advertising it on Instagram.
What the hell?
See if you can find it. Alright, well, you can't find it, but I just remember seeing something about it. It's not gonna have 70 artists, I think. I think it's gonna just one big collaboration. But 70 artists are gonna be involved in this project. Be it just for different Dreamville artists. But all I know is the likes of T.I. is there. I saw Rick Ross there. All of Cole's producers are going to be involved. Everybody from Dreamville. So it's this one big collab. The album's coming out the 16th. And I'm pretty excited because we know Cole makes quality music.
Yeah.
Him and his Dreamville members and whoever else is part of this project. But if I can't find it, I will leave it in the description. But moving along, what do we have left? Anything?
Well, that was it. Besides mentioning the Mortal Kombat stream, that was it for the gaming stuff.
All
Is there
right.
anything else you guys want to hit on?
What else we have on the docket here?
I think you mentioned something about online dating or something like that.
Oh yeah,
Before.
you guys want to quickly cover that online dating?
I mean, I don't do that, but
Well, this is why we're gonna have to talk about
You're
it.
the
Then.
one that brought it up.
who, me?
Yeah, I was.
Oh, you
I
was?
was, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
All right, well-
that's me. My bad.
We just want to cover the pros and cons, I guess, of online dating and why people look at it as such an awkward thing to do I mean, we all have our fears, right? We all have our anxiety. We all have the things that we are so, I guess, afraid to do and afraid to like branch out with. So there's the dating in terms of having the confidence to approach a man or a woman just on the street in a social situation, or just, I guess, hiding behind a phone and expressing yourself, or laptop, or whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are just better with expressing themselves, I guess, without looking at the person, because
I know I definitely fall into that field.
I guess, being a hermit, being, whatever. Some people just don't have that confidence, don't have that in them to be able to walk up to whoever, male, female, whatever.
I mean, I feel like when it comes to that, like if you weren't doing it like when you were like younger and stuff like that, as you get older, it doesn't get easier.
Yeah, I mean, it's not embedded in you.
Yeah, like.
I mean, I'm an activist for that. I've met my girlfriend. I've had on social media, on website, and I've had decent results in the past doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been the guy who just can walk up to a female and just tell her what it is. I mean, when I'm feeling, when I'm on my good day, when I'm in my bag, maybe, but I've only done that. Shut up. I've only done that.
A bag of tricks?
Yes, a bag of tricks. I am the magician.
Be the chick's rabbit?
But yeah, I've never been able to do that. I've maybe here and there, but I've always been that guy who can just do it from the app and have decent results.
Yeah, I can't do it from that. I could never do it like that because I'm just shy, and you already know my situation. You already know who with who. I'm not gonna say names.
I'm gonna get into all
she
that.
Might be watching this podcast.
Maybe.
Nah,
maybe.
don't need to get into all that. Ain't
I mean, she's a smart one. She might know.
Hey.
She might have a hint. I don't know. But even then. But I'm definitely really shy when I'm in front of people. Like right now, I'm in a comfort zone, and I could definitely talk. Like I don't mind talking on camera. I don't mind talking amongst you guys about a bunch of other stuff.
You ain't trying to date us, so.
Chris is a good-looking guy.
But I know. I mean, Paul, you have experience.
Yeah, I definitely have experience. I don't know. It's just easier. It's like, I mean, like I said, I wasn't growing up like that dude, just getting girls left and right like that. So doing it online just seems like it's a much smoother process.
We can all be Marquis and just have the confidence coming out the wazoo.
Listen, man.
Hey.
Today's age of dating.
I know. Look at the haircut.
Yeah.
We got the sleeves a little short to show the biceps. All right, prospect. All right, prospect. Trying to show me up on my own podcast.
Oh my gosh. But no, in today's dating scene, it's really hard because it's like, say you do see somebody that you're interested in, and you want to go and talk to them, and maybe they're not interested in you, and you didn't really get that vibe. They'll be so quick to label you as like a creep or like you're like a thirsty, like somebody.
JB.
But like
keep going.
It's crazy. Like it's like really like some men are really scared of talking to women. Like it's actually crazy.
Well, I mean, like I said,
hey man, it's either you got it or you don't, man.
You just hit Howard.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm all for it. Whenever I come up with somebody, come into somebody who's a little afraid to do that, like Devin, I'm the one who's trying to help you out here.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that,
yeah, I know. I thank you for it.
Yeah, look at it like that. It's millions of people on these apps, so it's
Exactly.
not like it's like a small group of people. It's like millions of people doing this.
And that's why they have the option to try to adjust it to what you like. These apps try to cater to you as best as possible, and it's just another form of social media.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, I see advertisements for these things, and there's Match.com always being advertised because it's just another form of social media, another way for people to get out and expand and advertise themselves. So it's helpful, and I think it's a good way to go for certain people, and that's why I try to suggest it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been there. So it's alright, Devin.
Yeah.
You always have a podcast.
Hopefully, yeah. Yeah. Hopefully it'll work out.
So, off that, but continuing with social media, let's go down here
Oh, boy.
and talk about the goof himself.
Oh God.
Oh shit.
Oh man.
We know
Gotta do the anime glasses
Got no
push
more anime
right now.
we know the Paul brothers, right?
Yo, toss it. Nah, don't toss it.
We know Logan and Jake Paul.
I don't know them.
Well, we don't know them, but we know of
I
them.
want
I
these
like
from
I
that
just like
lemonade I'm
I like how
talking about this.
buffoonery's aimed at other niggas, so that's kind of cool. They can keep their title.
So, once again, we come into a very controversial situation here involving a group or one really goofy guy on YouTube and a very proactive movement. And we're talking about the LGBT movement. And we have Logan Paul. It is Logan Paul, right?
It is Logan Paul.
Okay, we have Logan Paul and his brand spanking new podcast. I don't really know what his numbers are. I'm sure he's getting numbers from the really young kids because they love this guy. But he's really getting himself into some trouble once again. And this time it's him planning in March to go gay for the whole month.
Okay.
Why? Because he's looking for traction. He's hungry. He is thirsty to get the attention because
What
that's
does
all
that mean to go
do.
gay?
Yeah,
That's what I'm
all
trying to
honestly.
figure out. What does that
Yeah.
mean?
It's like
I don't
you
know.
were either like you were gay from the start. Like it's like
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not
just go gay.
like there are people out there who are gay, who they're trying to have they just got the rights to
hey, maybe
marriage
this is
to-
coming out party.
to legally marry a few years
Maybe.
ago. Been making important moves in their
Keep talking, just doing it.
and make important moves to try to be recognized as everyone else and whatever, and that's cool and everything, and I support that. And to go gay for a month, I feel like it's mocking them. It's not shining good light on them. Like you're treating it as a joke. There are people who get beat up and bullied and who die from this or take their own life because you have people telling them they have a problem, telling them that they're not normal, they need to get help, they need to get the gay removed from them or whatever, and go to these like anti-gay camps and stuff, and to go gay for a month as an experiment, as treated like a joke, I feel like that's not cool. It's not cool at all.
No, and he actually is it's not just him. He's also involving his co-host. Let's scroll down.
Yeah.
He's involving his co-host. And I think his name is Mike or something. Yeah.
Like,
God damn it,
So
Mike.
it's both of them going to be doing this go gay challenge. I don't know what they're calling it, but it's coming off the back of this month. They did a no alcohol drinking thing,
Mhm.
and going vegan, and doing the whole vegan thing. And then in February, they're indulging on alcohol and steak. So they seem to be having this little challenge thing that they're be doing. Those two are fine, but to go gay for a month, like what? I don't really understand the purpose here. It's not like they're definitely not trying to do anything for the community. They're only looking for likes. They're only looking for exposure because it's controversial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have not only angered the LGBT community, but they also angered the GLAAD community. GLAAD. I think I wrote it down here, what it stands for. Oh, you're going to look it up?
It's like glad.
GLAAD. That says Glade.
Oh shit.
Oh, it's right here. Here it is.
Yeah. All right. The GLAAD is an American non-governmental media monitoring organization founded by LGBT people in the LGBT community who are in media.
Oh.
So they're an LGBT community that's also involved in the media community. So he's angered them. And they, on a tweet, responded saying that's not how it works. Because he announced that he's going to be doing this whole go gay thing for a month on Twitter. So his response is, very poor choice of words. My fault. Let's get together and talk about it on my podcast next week. So now what does that sound like?
They don't have...
That's terrible.
Let me just get this out the way. I feel like the Paul brothers don't have any ounce of empathy or sympathy in their bodies. I mean, especially after the whole Jake Paul thing with the suicide force.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely none whatsoever. No care whatsoever. And when you said, like, when you deemed it the Go Gay Challenge, I feel like that goes podcast.
With
I
the
feel
Bird
like
Box Challenge.
Yeah,
Which
I feel like
Jake
people,
Paul also did as well.
Yeah, I feel like that's how it might be interpreted as a challenge, and it might cause other kids to do the same thing. And the problem is, amongst their peers, there are kids dealing with the fact that they are gay and they haven't came out yet to their parents.
Yeah.
They're dealing with this internally, suffering. Maybe only someone like a counselor knows, and they're trying to help them deal with it and deal with the pain. And they have the ramifications like, oh, if I tell my parents, I'm done for, or they're going to try to get me cleaned or whatever. And it's hard for
there's
them.
a lot
It's
of
a
parents
serious,
that don't agree with that either.
Yeah, it's a serious situation, a serious topic, and for him to do something like this, and then in turn for kids to see him and copy this thing, is just like a slap in those kids' faces. They treat it as a joke.
We take one massive step forward with legalizing the gay marriage and whatnot,
yes.
and actually being a little bit more courteous to people in this community and grow a lot more respect for them.
Yeah.
We've been moving forward with this very well.
Yeah.
And then there's the assholes like him who like to play.
Yeah.
And do these dumb challenges and hurt a growing community.
And not...
I have gay friends. I have gay family members, and I have no problem with them.
Yeah.
And they're not out here just harming the world or doing anything crazy.
No.
They're just humans, just like us.
Yeah.
So why is this a game? This is not a game. This is not a toy. This is nothing crazy to play with. There's nothing to play with.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. This guy has problems, him and his brother. And I don't know. I guess we'll see where this goes. I hope he doesn't do it.
I hope he doesn't do it either. When it comes to these communities, they've come so far, and every time someone does something like this, it just sets them back. And I feel like they're just treated as a joke or whatever, and it shows a complete lack of understanding of where people within the LGBT community and within. They don't truly understand how far they've come, where they come from, the troubles they've gone through, the hardships they've gone through, how they felt internally, the pain inside them from wondering if they're normal or if they need to get help, and this and that, go on medication or whatever, and then suicide rates among them and whatever, because people just can't deal with the pressure and the stress that comes with it, and it's crazy. It's crazy that someone can even get the idea to do something like this and think it's okay, and then only come out with this response, with this kind of response.
Yeah, just
And
advertising himself.
It makes me angry personally because, like, I like to understand multiple perspectives and multiple people and where they come from, and respect that, and respect their decisions for what they are, and accept them for who they are, no matter whether they're straight, gay. I don't care. I don't hold any prejudice, and I feel like that is just another thing to damage their point, to damage their message, to damage their journey from where they were to where they're at. And it's just like I said, it's just I feel like a bunch of kids are just gonna do it as a joke, and it's gonna become a mockery, and it
Just gonna cause
it's
friction.
pretty shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible. But I don't know. It's just everybody's doing everything for fame nowadays. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if it if it hurts anybody, as long as they get like their 15 minutes of fame, or
Yeah.
like they have people talking about them. They don't care who they hurt.
Yeah, and it's what you were talking about, Marquis, with the lack of empathy.
Exactly.
Lack of empathy, and just like they need to actually soul search themselves and take the response they've gotten from GLAAD, and take the response from what they've gotten from other members of the community in social media, on Twitter, and just not go through with it.
Yep.
That will be the smart choice. Actually be smart for once.
Perfect
and not do
world,
this.
that would be.
If you want to do something for fame and stuff, fine, but choose something else. Like the whole vegan for a month thing, cool. People go vegan for a month all the time to try it out and see if the lifestyle is for them. You know, that's something that's a change in the lifestyle where you can do for a month to see if you can actually go without meat and animal byproducts. Cool, fine. But something like this, definitely a no in my book.
Yeah, well, like I said, let's just hope for the best, and hopefully he doesn't do this.
Yeah.
But I think we've covered everything.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty
Paul,
much.
yeah.
anything?
To add or just
Add or anything you wanted to just say?
not really more than what you guys said. I mean, it's like really insensitive to that community. It's like, I mean, like the whole situation. I'm glad he said he was trying to sit down with them.
Yeah, he
and
says
talk about
very
it.
poor choice of words. My fault. Let's get together and talk about it on my podcast next week.
Yeah, like I don't know. He has a platform. I feel like he's just like trying to literally just trying to up his platform any way he can, and even if something ridiculous like that, and I guess the whole go gay for a month and then trying to take it back and then talk with people on a podcast to make it seem like it's okay. It's just stupid.
And
It's not
Prick.
And see, that's the thing too. Like, was this like planned in the sense of saying this to get a rise and a response, and just to
Probably.
get them on his podcast and bring viewership to the podcast, and that maybe they never intended to go through with it, but since it's the Paul brothers, we don't know.
Yeah.
Because he could very well bring these people on the podcast, get a serious conversation going, and both sides get their points across.
I hope they don't go there. I hope they don't go on
Yeah.
this podcast.
Yeah, and he could still do it because that's the way the Paul brothers are. They'll just do it anyway. Like they'll probably just as easily take a poll on Twitter, like, should I do it? And of course, the votes are going to be majority yes, because people will just want to see him do it, or kids will want to see him do it, and it just goes from there.
Oh, well. Honestly, nice podcast, guys.
Yeah.
You guys did well. Second episode, I think we had a pretty strong hour and change, or whatever it is on now. I want to thank you guys who did give the support for our very first episode.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I felt very, very happy doing that episode, and a relief, and it was just something I've been thinking about doing, and I'm glad that I finally did it, and it came out pretty well, and I got some pretty decent feedback. So now it's just time for me to grow, time for us to grow.
Mhm.
Look out for Selfmade Productions content. Thank you, Jared, for helping us out.
Got it.
We'll have plenty more collabs. I'll be on his channel. He'll be on my channel. We'll be together flying through the moon or something. I don't know. And Paul, thank you for your contribution.
Yeah, man.
Great friends I got here. And we're just on a journey. So,
Yeah.
thanks for watching. Look out for more content from me, more content from us as the podcast. And
All that
Yeah.
other good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all the other good stuff.
If you like it, make sure to give us a like.
Comment, favorite, and subscribe.
Yeah,
And I'll
share
catch
it with
you.
your friends. Yeah.
We'll be out. Peace.
Yeah.